Hello, my friends. How are you? Shailesh sir here. Today we are going to discuss the third part of your chapter, gravitation. Third part of your chapter, gravitation, from class 9. Last part we have discussed several points of this chapter. What is gravitation? What is free falling? What is this capital G and G? What is gravitational acceleration? Etc. Now in this part we are going to discuss some points. One is what is pressure, what is thrust, and what is buoyancy, what is buoyant force, and what is Archimedes law given by scientists. Archimedes. What is Archimedes law? All these four words are interconnected. Mind well, they are interconnected with each other. Let us start with the first word, thrust. What is thrust? So you know that we give thrust to any object, so we apply force to push it. Push it. That is thrust. That is thrust in common language. We apply some force on the object. So here in science we are giving the definition of this thrust. You can apply the force from any direction at 60-degree angle, from 80-degree angle, and from 90-degree angle. Here we thrust means we refer to only 90-degree angle. That is known as perpendicular force. So any perpendicular force applied on any object, any surface of any object, then this perpendicular force applied on the surface of the object is known as thrust. Perpendicular force, maybe from upside perpendicular or maybe from left side perpendicular, but it must be at 90 degree. It should not be in slant way. Mind well, perpendicular means exact 90 degree straight way. 90, neither this 80 or 70 or 60 but it must be at 90 degree. Mind well, that is known as thrust. Perpendicular, it must be perpendicular, whether it is applied from any direction, but that should be perpendicular, only straight on the surface of the object. Okay, this perpendicular force applied on the surface of any object is known as thrust. So now we know the second word about this for this thrust. What in common language we call such thrust as a pressure. We are giving the pressure to push it downward or to push it upward by this thrust. So when we give the what is the difference in pressure? Both are same fundamentally. Okay, that is also perpendicular. Pressure is also a perpendicular force applied on the surface of the object. But here only you have to add one word. So here we are taking not any part of surface. We are taking the fixed part of part of surface, means fixed area of surface, particular part of surface. Then we get the name pressure on unit area. This is the scientific word you have to add on fixed part. Area means the part, definite part of the surface. So here I am starting. What is pressure? So the perpendicular force acting on the unit area of the surface of the object is known as pressure. And thrust is without mention of this unit area. When perpendicular force is applied to the surface of the object, then it is thrust. And when the perpendicular force applied on the unit area of the surface of the object, then it is known as pressure. Both are same fundamentally. Both are the perpendicular force applied on the surface. But one is without unit area, any part, and second one, pressure, is on unit area, means on the fixed part. Area, the fixed part, the definite part of the total surface. That is area, unit area. Area is measured in square meter or square, whatever we call it, square foot, square meter, like that. Okay. Now, here, clear? Thrust and pressure. Don't confuse with the word thirst. Thirst, not thirst. Here, thrust, T-H-R-U-S-T. So, what is the difference between the force, perpendicular force acting on the surface of the object at any part. That is thrust. And perpendicular force acting on the surface on unit area, means on the fixed part, that is pressure. Even here now we get the formula for pressure. So what is the formula for pressure? They are the force. Both are the perpendicular force. F. Whether you see thrust or the pressure. But in our general life, we use the common word as pressure. We will not speak the word thrust. We will give the word pressure in our general understanding. So we will use the formula. So what is this pressure? Pressure equal to thrust upon area. Thrust is what? Force, perpendicular force upon area, means upon fixed part, fixed area. So what is pressure? Pressure equal to perpendicular force, that is thrust upon area. Area means covering, how much part is covered by this pressure. Okay, that is unit area. Okay, that is the fundamental definition of this pressure. Pressure is a force, thrust is a force, but we get the formula for this for perpendicular force, that is pressure. That is pressure equal to force upon area, in short. Force upon area. Mind you to remember, force upon unit area. Area here refer to unit area. And thrust is the force upon surface. Total, we are considering total surface. Or any, that is the total surface. That is known as thrust. Okay. Now, here, another two words comes. What is buoyancy and what is buoyant force? So now in pressure and thrust we have seen that they are the perpendicular force acting on the body, whether from upward or from downward, but it must be perpendicular at 90 degree, that is known as either thrust or pressure. For general language we will, common language we are using the word pressure, pressure from all the side, from the perpendicular pressure here. For our general meaning we are giving the meaning that any type of pressure from any direction. That is different thing, but scientifically it is always perpendicular. Okay, so we don't mix up our general sense and scientific sense. Okay, so this perpendicular force, now what is buoyancy? Buoyancy, not B-O-Y, B-U-O-Y, buoyancy, A-N-C-Y, B-U-O-Y, boy, A-N-C-Y-N-C, buoyancy and buoyant force. So what is buoyancy or buoyant force? So when you take any big object with mass or less mass, try to sink it in the water. So when you push it downward towards the water, perpendicular direction, so you will feel that this water is also pressing your sunk object in upward direction. You will feel. You try to. It will not be easily sunk if your object is lighter, in a light weight. So it will not easily sink. It will feel some resistance of the water, because water is always acting from the downward to upward force, the upward force, upward thrust, what we call pressure. So this upward thrust given by the water on the object when it is sunk, that is known as buoyancy. Buoyancy, water is the property to resist any object which is sunk, try to sunk try to be sunk in the water near the bottom of the water surface, but it will always try to keep it upward. That is buoyancy. That's why we are able to swim, and that's why this bottle without any object, your empty bottle, plastic bottle, if you try to sink it, it won't sink. It will feel lot of pressure. It will come upward back. due to this, because water has the property to throw any object. It will try to throw any object outside the water. Specifically in ocean, it try to throw first, and when the weight is more than the upward force, that is buoyant force of the water, then it will sink. And your weight is less than the this force of upward force, that is buoyant force of the water, then you will be thrown out. That is, you will keep floating. Empty bottle with air, it will keep floating. But if you fill it with some sand and some material, solid material, and then sink, it will sunk. It will be sunk. Why? Because its weight is more than that upward force, buoyant force of the water. Okay, so what is buoyant force and buoyancy? Now you understood. Again, in scientific language, what is buoyancy? The property of the water to push the object inside it towards the upward direction, perpendicular direction, upward perpendicular direction. This force is known as buoyant force, and this property is known as buoyancy. They are the same words, referring in different way. So property of the water to give the thrust to the object which is sunk in it. That is the pressure down from upward pressure. Second, upward pressure is felt by the object. That is upward force. Pressure and thrust, they are practically same. So upward pressure or upward thrust is given by the water to the any object which is sunk in it. So that is known as property is known as buoyancy, and this upward pressure or upward thrust by the water, that force is known as buoyant force of the water, which is try to throwing the object to its surface. Okay, so this is the buoyancy and buoyant force. Clear? So now, after discussing these two words, buoyancy and buoyant force, both are same practically. Buoyancy is the property and the force is the result. This upward force. They are also, whether you say upward thrust or whether you say upward pressure, practically both are same. But basically force of the water, upward force of the water, acting perpendicularly on the object. That is perpendicularly. It is acting also perpendicularly upward. That is perpendicular 90 degree from outside. Okay. And then, so there was a scientist named Archimedes. So he observed this property of this buoyant force and buoyancy of the water and derived one law. Mr. Archimedes, scientist Archimedes, was a great physician, physicist, not physician, physicist, and also a mathematician also. So he discovered the relation of this object and the water. So the weight of the object and the water. So more the weight, so it will most probably it will sink, and a very less weight, then it won't sink. Most probably it won't sink. So when it will sink, when this weight of the object is more than their buoyant force, upward force of the water, then it will sink. And if the weight of the object is less than the buoyant force of the water, that is upward force of the water, then it will sink. Clear? Heavy object, that's why are sunk. A light object like this plastic or which has got low density, they are floating. So here another words also come. Before we discuss this Archimedes law, we are discussing what is density. Density means more this object with low density, whose density is less than water, will keep floating, and object with higher density than water will always be sunk. This is the law. But what is density? So density, the density, with this closeness what we of the material that we call density. So it depends on the mass. More the mass, density will be more. Less the mass, density will be less. More it is packed tightly, so density will be more. And loosely, if it is packed loosely with the inner material, then the density will be this low. This is the, but what is density in scientific language? It is nothing. It is a ratio of mass to its volume. So density is mass upon volume. Mass upon volume. Mind well. Mass and volume means size from all the sides. Okay. So mass upon volume is density. Ratio of this mass to the volume means mass upon volume. Density is mass upon volume of the object. Mass upon divided by volume of the object. Both are size. Volume is the size of the mass upon size of the object. But we have to write the scientific word volume, mathematical word volume. So this is density. The more the density than water, then it will definitely sink. Less the density than water, and then it will definitely float. So there are so many substances which have got less density than water, and more, and which are, there are so many substances, heavy substance which have got more density. You take a piece of big wood, though it is of 10 kg or 20 kg, but it will not sink. Why? Though its volume is, this mass is bigger, this size is bigger, but its quantity inside matter is less. So its density is less. It is hollow. Hollowness, more hollow, not packed tightly inside the material. Okay. So this piece of wood will always remain floating because its density, though the size is more, but its density is less than water. While piece of, even a small piece of iron will sink immediately because its density is less than water. Its density is more than water. Iron, though it is small or big, it will sink because its density is packed material is tightly packed. So it is more than water, the density, so it will sink, though it is small inside. And while the large piece of wood will float on the river water because its density, though it looks bigger inside, but inside density is very lesser than the water. That's why if it is not lesser than water slightly, then it will sink. But here it keeps floating. This is the fundamental of this concepts. Okay. Now on this fundamental, our dear scientist, Mr. Archimedes. Archimedes was a great scientist. He gave some laws about physics. That is, one is known as Archimedes law, depending on this buoyant force and buoyancy only. Mind. Buoyant force and buoyancy. So he found the relation between the weight of the object and this buoyant force. How much buoyant force? How can we measure? So he gave his law, which is known as Archimedes law or Archimedes principle by his name, scientist Archimedes. So when he said like this, listen, this is very important law. When an object is fully immersed or partially immersed in water, then it will displace some water. So this displaced water, weight of this displaced water is always equal to the buoyant force. It will be equal to buoyant force. More force, so of buoyant force, then it will be, the displaced water weight will be more, and less buoyant force, then this displaced water weight will be less. It is equal to this displaced water. Clear? Okay. Hello. So in Archimedes law, what he discovered, that when any object is either partially immersed, means submerged, or this totally submerged, fully submerged, but it will displace some water. you know that when this take a full glass of water and try to dip some object, it will displace it. The water will be overflow and displaced. And if you weigh that water, get the weight of this displaced water, it will be always equal to this upward force of the water. That is buoyant force. And he said that this buoyant force can be found in this week. How much force is applied, that is always equal to the weight of the displaced water. Wonderful. His mind was so strong. We can't discover such relation between the force, buoyant force. How we can measure? We will think. But he measured that this displaced water weight is always equal to the buoyant force of the water or any liquid. It is not necessary it should be a water. It of any liquid. Okay, and you know when any object will be sunk in any liquid, if its density is more than that given liquid, then it will be sunk. Okay, and when it will not sink, when it will float on any liquid, so when its density is lesser than the given liquid, then it will be floating. It will kept floating. Okay, it will not be sunk at the bottom. That is the law. So finally, what is the Archimedes law or Archimedes principle? When an object is submerged or immersed, either partially or fully, then it displaces some water. And this weight of this displaced water is always equal to the buoyant force of the given liquid or water. Given liquid or given water. Okay, always equal to the displaced liquid or displaced water. This is the law of Archimedes. Very important law to measure the buoyant force of all the liquids. And that is the most fundamental concepts of our physics in this chapter. That's all for this chapter. All the fundamental these points we have covered. Here your chapter is completed for the fundamentals of the concepts. Bye.